There was a point in history where Christmas was just as spooky as Halloween, where mostly in European countries around Christmas time, they would share ghost stories, whether it be about, past family members or just ones with morals like you find with the Christmas Carol, where he's visited by 3 ghosts.
So you don't often think of ghost stories at Christmas, but if you remember the song, Tales of the Ghost Stories and Tales of the Glories of Christmases Long, Long Ago, we're in the darkest time of the year. We just had the solstice this week, and people used to sit around fires on the long, dark nights and tell stories. And nothing goes better over fire than a scary ghost story. So Christmas ghost stories, they do have a tradition.
With America, it's not as popular just because the Puritans didn't like that tradition when they started the country. But as the America became more of a melting pot, the tradition did come back, just not as strong. Now it's more of a Halloween thing to tell ghost stories, but you can still see Christmas being heavily influenced by that tradition of telling ghost stories.
Here at Rosedale, we actually do a Christmas-themed haunted history tour. One of the reasons I do a haunted history tour at Christmas is that, sadly, a lot of the family that lived in the home died at or around the holidays. In 1845, Charlotte was experiencing an epidemic of a disease called erysipelas. It's basically a much more severe form of strep throat. The man that owned that house at that time, Dr. David Caldwell, was a doctor, and he tended to a lot of the patients who were suffering from that disease. He did not catch it, but his wife and 3 of his children caught it, and all 4 died within the year of each other. And sadly, the 3 children died in December, one in 1844 and the other 2 in 1845. So we believe that some of the children may actually still be here.
There's a story called the 6th Street Sledder. Back in the 1920s, where Uptown was more of a residential area, there was a family called the Millers. And around January 15th, Charlotte had its first big snow. So little Tommy Miller, who was about 6 years old, was eager to use his sled that he got for Christmas that year. He lived on Church Street around the 5th Street side. And if you're familiar with the area, right around Old Settlers, there's that hill that leads down to the corner of Church Street and 6th. And he used that hill to test out his sled. Unfortunately, he was hit by a moving bus, but according to local legends, even to this day, you can still see a young boy in winter garb on the corner of 6th Street around this time of year.
So we are indeed a haunted establishment. One of the great things about Rosedale is that not only do we have ghosts from the distant past, we are experiencing things even recently. As I went into the house the other day to take down Christmas decorations, I heard footsteps very strongly above me, and I was the only one in the house. I'd like to hope that maybe the ghost enjoyed what we did to the house for Christmas, and perhaps they were sad to see the decorations come down.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, one guy breaking into every single house of one religion, and he's the judge of whether or not someone's good or bad. On paper, that's actually pretty creepy.